Oh, hey, Martin.
Yes, we're live, FYI.
Oh, okay. I've got clips too if you want them.
Yeah, just put them in what you call it, and I have them. I have most of them broke up. I mean, not broke up, but ready. But if you put them in the chat for me.
WTBC Tuscaloosa and W265CG Tuscaloosa, a Town Square media station. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Alabama 1st and 10 on the 12. Again, Houston. He's got a hole. He's over. Alabama touchdown.
I'm just wondering if your listeners know how good a football player you were. I can still see you playing that fullback, knocking those players out of the way. And that I believe I could have run behind you.
Martin, I can remember when we came to summer and you were playing fullback up there, and I saw you in the weight room and watched you work out in the weight room. If you were strong enough to pick up the whole weight room. I wanted to recruit you, and our running back coach didn't take the biggest mistake we ever made.
The Martin Houston Show with national championship winning fullback Martin Houston, giving you 1 hour of intense, hard-hitting analysis from an insider's perspective. It's time for the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports, Tide 100.9, and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Good morning and welcome into the Martin Houston Show, powered by MaXSports. It's a beautiful Monday morning. We're live, local, and ready to get things rolling right here on your home for Alabama sports, Tide 100.9. I want to invite you to get in on the conversation. Call us on the Alabama One hotline at 205-342-9904. That's the Alabama One hotline at 205-342-9904. I also want to invite you to send your comments, your reactions, and your questions into us on chat, on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter at Martin Houston 35 on YouTube and Twitter, the Martin Houston 35, and the Martin Houston 35 fan page on Facebook. All of those to get you in on the conversation. You can also MaXSports on Facebook and Tide 109. Remember that we are expanding our coverage. We've always been with you on Tide 109. We've now added 1230 WTBC AM on your radio dial. So if you're driving and you start hearing a little static because you're getting on the edge of Tide 100.9, flip over to 1230 WTBC AM and see if you can get it. Take us a little bit further as you travel this morning, or pick us up as you're coming in on your way in for future reference. We have a great show lined up for you. X will not be with us this morning, but we will be adding Kennington Smith III of the Athletic into the conversation in the second quarter. Excuse me. So he will be joining us and be with us for the remainder of the show. So looking forward to that conversation. And he'll give us his good, his bad, his ugly. He'll give us his turning point in the game, his thoughts on the turning point in the game, key takeaways from the game. We'll also look at his thoughts with the third Saturday in October up on us. We'll get his thoughts. This will be his first one as the beat writer, beat guy for Alabama. A big time game is Alabama and Tennessee, both trying to, I guess, right the ship after wins. But Tennessee, it's all about perspective. Tennessee excited to get the close win. Alabama fans may be a little disheartened by their win this weekend. But should we be disheartened by the win, disappointed, or should we be excited by the win? Got a lot to talk about, and I want to get you in on the conversation. Before we do that, Remember that this is a day that the Lord has made, so let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. No one really was close on the score, but the closest one to the score once again was Jed Cohen. He had 33-13. Man, I thought I was going to be right. I had picked it. I had a bold prediction, man. I had it 48-13 with 195 total yards. And at the end of the first half, with the score sitting at 21-6, and we come out in the second half and we're driving, dominating defense. They had like 92 yards in the first half. I'm like, yes, I'm on it. I got it. I'm nailing it. We're driving. We're running the ball. I'm like, yes, this Bama team is going to do their thing. I'm feeling really good about what I've predicted. I'm thinking I'm on it. And, of course, we know that what is it, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, old Doc showed up. The alter ego showed up about halfway through the third quarter. And things just didn't go the way the rest of the game. From the first quarter all the way, with 6 minutes to go in the first quarter, all the way through almost the end of the third quarter, Arkansas got 0 first downs and maybe 30 yards of offense. Then proceeded to get 150 or 60 yards of offense, something like that, in the last quarter and some change. Ruined my score, ruined my yardage and everything. So kudos to Jed Cohen for being the winner. He goes into the kit, into the total for the swag pack that'll be given away at the end of the year. But wow, not really happy. Want to know how you're feeling about Alabama football right now. The AP poll tells you how they're feeling as Alabama wins again and still not in the top 10 in the AP. Still not in the top 10 in AP. Still in the not Alabama. Still not even are we not a playoff team. We're not even a top 10 team in the AP right now. SEC getting 0 respect. Every decent one-win team in the country is in front of us, in front of everybody in the SEC. The only representation of the SEC is Georgia. And if Georgia loses before the SEC championship game, they may fall to like 9 or 10. And I love it. I love the fact that, is this what the rest of the world has been dealing with? If you get beat by a team in your conference, do you just stay where you're at? Because they've said your conference is good. Now, the SEC has deserved the right to say it's good because before there was ever the BCS, the SEC had won a couple titles. Then the SEC won titles in the BCS era. And then before the college football playoffs, they won BCS titles. So there was a reason that you could give the SEC that love. Is the Pac-12 any good, or are they just saying that the Pac-12 is good because they had a couple good early weeks? Dan Lanning, dude, you need to figure out how to coach. I watched that game. I know I'm all over the place. I should call this a Manic Monday. Dan Lanning, people, y'all, this dude has lost a couple of games, and in the games he's lost last year and this year, he's 0 for 8 on fourth down. Did you hear that? 0 for 8 on fourth down. He cost his team a game because of his coaching. At the end of the first half the other day, he got Washington on the ropes. They could be down by 1. And we're an aggressive team. We're an aggressive team. We're an aggressive team. And they don't go for an easy chip shot field goal. And then they finally take the lead, and the announcers, Herb Street and Fowler and all these guys going, hey, that's that aggressive nature because, see, it paid off because they're up by 4. And I say, yeah, but they'd be up by 7 and a touchdown. And that's going to come back to hunt them if they need 3 points at the end of the game. And guess what? They'd have been kicking the win instead of a kick to tie, in a missed kick cost them the game versus them going to overtime. It's all over the place today. I can't wait to get Kennington Smith on here to talk about all of this in Alabama. But before we do that, let's see what Pat has to say. Pat, you're in with the Martin Houston Show on the Alabama One Hotline. What's up?
Man, hey, Martin, good morning. Hey, man, I'm absolutely, I tried to explain to Ryan Fowler that this was a good team we were playing Saturday. I've tried to all week on everybody I called. I tried to explain this was
and
a
we
good
should have beat
team
them by 6 touchdowns.
And we were overlooking this good team.
Pat, we did not overlook this team. Pat, we didn't overlook this team. We had them 24-6. That's not overlooking a team. We had them 24-6. Where did we overlook them?
They are a good team. What did they do to LSU? What did LSU do to Auburn? Or LSU beat Auburn like a stepchild? Is Auburn that bad?
We were up 24-6. How's that overlooking a team? How did we overlook them? We were up 24-6. How did we overlook them?
And we got jacklegs on our team that would put themselves before the team. They'd rather jerk somebody around by the face mask versus doing the right thing.
That's not overlooking the team, Pat. That's a different problem. Overlooking a team would mean that we started off fighting the way we ended up fighting. We dominated this team for 2.5 quarters, Pat. That team got 90, less than 100 yards through 2.5 quarters, Pat. Or almost 3 quarters. They had less than 100 yards. So we didn't overlook them. Our offense didn't make mistakes. We just don't know how to finish from the coaching staff through the players. It's not just these players. It's the coaches too. Whatever we were doing, we didn't keep doing.
Bill, isn't it amazing that, hey, but what we did with it, the good about that game was the last drive, the resilience of the last drive, Martin. We imposed our will the last drive. And that is what I'm happy about with this team and with that game was the last drive. Do you not agree with me?
I agree that the last drive showed something about this team that they need to figure out how to have for 4 quarters. You got anything else real quick,
No, Martin, that's it. But this is Tennessee week. Tennessee's not a total joke either.
No, they're not. We have to play 4 quarters, but if we play our game and they play their game, we'll beat them by 3 or 4 scores.
We'll beat them like a
if we play their game. If they play their game and we play our game, but the key is I don't know if we can play our game for 4 quarters, Pat. That's still the question.
Exactly,
yes,
Martin. You and Kennington talk it out. I'm gonna be listening to you.
Thank you, sir. Day. Coming back on the other side, we'll keep the conversation going right here on your home for Alabama Sports, Tide 100.9.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active wrecks. Things looking pretty good on the roadways on this Monday morning. Now, if you do see conditions folks need to hear about, just give me a call. 205-886-8886. Here's your chance to save $2,000, $4,000, up to $8,000 instant savings on new in-stock vehicles at Townsend Nissan. I'm Captain Ray.
This month at Pearl River Resort, we're giving away a Curtis Stone cookware set. This 6-piece collection includes everything you need to cook up your favorite fall recipes and game day classics. Earn points Fridays and Saturdays in October to receive a unique piece of the set each week. Score big every time at Pearl River Resort. Must be 21 or older to play. O'Reilly.
Get ultimate durability and extreme weather performance with Rain-X Advantage wiper blades at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Purchase a pair of Rain-X Advantage wiper blades and save $10. Plus, get 2 times O Rewards points. Our professional parts people will even install your new wiper blades for free. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hey, if you're thinking about getting the latest iPhone, check this out. With Boost Infinite, you get the latest iPhone every year and unlimited wireless for just $60 a month. Yeah, you get the new iPhone 15 Pro with titanium. Then again, next year you get the latest iPhone. Every year. Boost Infinite. Infinitely better. To learn more, pick up your phone, dial pound 250 and say Boost Infinite. That's pound 250 and say Boost Infinite.
Terms apply. After 30 gigabytes, service may be slowed. Receive a comparable iPhone model each year with an acceptable trade-in every year. Requires credit qualification and 36-month phone financing agreement. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dial text message from this station's network.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
A cool, breezy day today with a partly sunny sky, the high 62. Tonight, fair with the low at 44. For tomorrow and Wednesday, sunny both days with a warming trend. The high tomorrow is 67, the high Wednesday at 72. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 45 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Keep it locked into Tide 100.9 for more of the Martin Houston Show with Martin Houston and X's and O's Sports, Xavier Houston.
What do you think led to the improvements in the running game in the second half and also having a deeper running back rotation today?
Well, we ran the ball really well the first time we had it. In the second half, I mean, we had 3 or 4 really good runs. Look, we think we got 4 running backs that can play, so we're going to play them when we feel like we have an opportunity to play them. So that's always the plan. Have we always been able to do that? No. Sometimes the game doesn't dictate it, but I'm glad to see all those guys got to play, and I think they all had good moments.
Coach. That's Coach Nick Saban talking about the running backs getting to play, and that's always the plan. It's hard for me to believe. I think we're on about game 7. I don't know, somewhere in there. 3rd week in October. And you're telling me that's the first chance we've had to get those guys in the game? Come on now. That's a problem. If your coach if you got 2 dudes that can carry the rock, the way Jam Miller and Justice Haynes showed they could carry the rock, and you hadn't been able to figure out how to get those dudes in the game, come on now. Either your OC or your position coach got some challenges to their ability to manage a game, and I don't think it's the position coach per se. So what's the challenge? We'll ask Kennington Smith III that question. We'll also have Robert from Mobile who wants to get in on the conversation, so we'll work both of those into the conversation. Good morning, Kennington. How you doing, sir?
Good. How are you?
Doing well. It's just you and I this morning. No X today as we move throughout the program. So, hey, Kennington, did you hear that audio? Nick Saban saying it's always their plan to get all 4 running backs in the game, but not able to do that.
Yeah.
But to me, a microcosm of our problem with getting those guys in the game can be seen through what happened in that second half. We came out in that first drive, and it looked like gangbusters. Our run game was creative. We were running the toss sweep. We were running the counter. We pulled the guy. We ran up the middle. We had a diverse, creative running game. Well, creative for us. It still was base plays, but at least we did some variety and diversity for us. And then you didn't see it the rest of the second half. We went back to try to pass in the ball. Why? I don't know. So do you put the lack of seeing these guys? He said they always want to play those guys. Do you put that on the OC once again, or is it the fact that he's just not? Is it the fact that maybe these guys can't be trusted in the rest of the playbook, so they don't get put in by their running back coach? What do you think it is?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of things. It was interesting. You're talking about going away from the run. There was an instance, after that drive where they go down and kick a field goal, they come back that first down, next drive, they run a play action with Milrow, and Isaiah Bond was open on the sideline. It was a poor throw, and then that just sets Alabama behind the chains on second down, and then you just see the offenses go off schedule from there. So it did feel like they were just going to continue to keep running the ball. And, McClellan, Roydell, and Jan Miller all had really good runs in that first drive that set up that field goal. And you just expected them to just continue to establish run, especially being up by 3 scores, that they were just going to pretty much run the clock out and get out of there with the win. But, some questionable game planning things kind of allowed for Alabama's offense to stall and Arkansas to get back into the game offensively. But I think the running back situation there, I feel like there is a little bit of a lack of trust there. And I think, particularly with Justice Haynes, he got caught into, a situation where he did have a good, a few good runs in the first half. And then the last play, I believe, that we saw, it was a play where he was put in pass protection and, his man got through. Pritchett on left tackle, the other side, let his man get through. It resulted in a sack. I don't believe we saw Justice Haynes after that. So I think there is, somewhat of a trust factor in certain situations. And, with Jason Roydell, I feel like they have so much trust that they just kind of defer to those two as the main ball carriers. But I specifically think Jan Miller has earned the right to continue to get carries because he looks really explosive in the limited opportunities that he got on Saturday.
And I would agree that Justice has to work on pass block, but we're judging Justice Haynes off of one pass block. I would say, and if Justice Haynes doesn't get the pass block off of that, please get Proctor off the field, please. If unless the running back coach has a much higher standard for blocking, you see what I'm saying? I mean, it's the craziness of this team is just kind of crazy. But let's get the caller in, then we'll circle back on that because I do agree. Justice did get blown up on that one particular play, but there's a way to do things that you could still get this guy out there in certain pass pro. Not every pass pro do you have to have him out there when he's on an island one-on-one with a blitzing guy. There's always ways to do things that you can call plays when certain guys are in there. There's ways to do things. I'm just telling you. And we will get to that in a minute. But Robert from Mobile, you're in with Martin and Kennington on the Alabama One hotline. What's on your mind, sir?
Hey guys. Yeah, it looks like these ugly wins as far as the AP is concerned is starting to catch up with Alabama as far as keeping us out of the top 10. They're saying North Carolina is, I guess, accomplished more than Alabama this season because they know it's not who's better. It goes to the AP top 10. It's okay, I guess who's done more or whatever. But all right, you're going to have North Carolina undefeated over Alabama. Why aren't they over USC and Texas and Oregon?
Right.
All of them. So it's becoming a slap in the face to Alabama and the SEC. There's no question about that. Now we got to stop with these ugly wins. And you were right, Martin. If this team is good enough to beat Arkansas 48-13. Or really go, and we always seem to be 1 or 2 plays away from doing that. But then when those 1 or 2 plays don't happen, we become incapable of doing it. And that's getting, we can't be like that. 1 or 2 plays and everything comes unraveled because you didn't make 1 play, 1 face mask call, and everything, and the wheels fall off. That's not going to work. We got to figure, like you said, figure out a way to do those 4 quarters. And not necessarily 4 quarters. If you give us 3 good ones, we're good. Then that'd be all 4. It'd be great if it is all 4. But can we get 3? It's always a tale of 2 halves. Either we suck in the first half, come back in the second. And this time it was the first half, we were good, and sucked in the second. It's so.
Kennington, can you explain? See, everybody is saying Keys here, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm starting to settle in on reality. I keep trying to keep in some famous a famous quote here. Keep hope alive, man. I'm trying. I'm pumping sunshine in my own life. I told somebody I wrote my book, The Encouragement Factor. Give me 1 more inch. Boy, I'm having to read my own stuff. Robert in Kennington, because watching this team, do we have the talent? Absolutely. And when this team is playing its best, I think this team is as good as anybody in the country. The problem is 31 sacks, double-digit penalties, or how is it possible that you can have 5 stars littered up and down the field on offense and defense, have a team 24-6 who can't get a first down for 2 quarters and 1 penalty? Everybody says Key's penalty cost us the game. No. It opened the floodgates. Somebody, coaches and players, this team lacks leadership. No one could stop that. Kennington, respond to that. Have you ever seen a team this dominant become that porous and that poor on offense and defense in one moment? Like 1 moment. You ever seen anything like that?
Not. I'm sure I could think. I'm sure there are instances. Not really off the top of my head. I think that's the key.
Hold on. Let me rephrase it. Let me rephrase that question. I've seen poor teams that expect to lose that happen too. Let me rephrase it. I have seen Vanderbilts, and I've seen poor teams. I've never seen a team who should be playing and contending for championships with the talent level that is superior to the other team do that.
Yeah, and it really is. It's interesting, and to me, the thing that kind of turned the tide of the game, no pun intended, was the way that the defensive line of that front 7 were not able to stop KJ Jefferson the way that they were to in the first half. Like, people point to first down defense, and that is a key stat. But first down defense, Alabama's defense was still getting Arkansas behind the chains or holding them to short yardage into the fourth quarter, even the drives where Arkansas was scoring. It was that second down play. KJ Jefferson had 3 really big plays on those second downs. First time Alabama's pass rush gets up the field, they have an opportunity to sack him. JJ Jefferson gets past the pass rushers. He runs for over 15 yards. They end up scoring a touchdown. Second time they blitz him, no one has contained. KJ Jefferson gets outside. He runs for another first down. The third second down was the one where Terrion Arnold blitzes him. Jefferson throws him off, tosses it to the running back. They go down. They score again. And then in between, they were giving them yardage on third down penalties. So just kind of a defensive breakdown on a few different fronts, which was disappointing to watch. And I think just the conclusion is something that you just pointed to is Alabama is as talented as anybody, but it's been 7 weeks and we've yet to see that wire-to-wire performance. I feel like every time I'm on this show, that's what I always point to is when is Alabama going to have good first half, good second half? Not slow start in the first quarter, really good second quarter, sleepwalk the rest of the game, find a way to win. Or against Ole Miss, bad first half, good second half. Or Mississippi State, good first half, bad second half. Texas A&M, bad first half, good second half. We're still waiting to see that complete Alabama performance.
Yeah.
But, I think it might be, we're saying through 7 weeks that this is just who Alabama is as a team. And it might just be a roller coaster the rest of the way.
Hey, Robert, you got anything else before I let you go? Go ahead. Quickly, I got to get the break. Go ahead.
My fear is my fear is with all these teams on the way they are, the way the perception of the SEC is, if it turns into a beauty contest with us and another one-loss SEC champion or conference champion, we're not going to get enough. And the SEC end up with no team in the playoff because of how ugly our wins have been in the perception right now. And they're just itching to do it, and we're giving them lots of ammunition to be able to do it. So
we have to win pretty. And I would never thought I would say an 11-1 or a 12-1 SEC champ has to win pretty. We have, based on what just happened this weekend, when we were sitting at 11 and didn't get to the top 10 with the team in front of us losing. We have to win pretty against Tennessee and LSU. I'm convinced of that.
They're going to make them stronger this last year. Yeah, they know they're going to get a bunch of SEC teams when the conference champ, when the playoffs expand. So I think they're fighting to keep they're itching to keep the SEC out now because they know how hard it's going to be next year when it's 12.
Absolutely. Thanks, Robert. Coming back on the other side, we'll keep the conversation going. We got some comments happening over on the chat that's of interest. Kennington, I'll get your thoughts there. We got Bishop on the line with KJ Jefferson. That conversation and more, you're always welcome to get in on it right here on your home for Alabama Sports. Tide 100.9 and 1230 WTBC AM.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active wrecks. Things looking pretty good on the roadways in this Monday morning. Now, if you do see conditions, folks need to hear about this. 205-886-8886. Here's your chance to save $2,000, $4,000, up to $8,000 instant savings on new in-stock vehicles at Townsend Nissan. I'm Captain Ray.
Have you heard? Affordable healthcare is better than ever. And right now, there are more carriers and plans to choose from. If you're between 18 and 64 years old with a household income of $25,000 or less, this message is for you. Right now, the government's Affordable Care Act is available for individual and family health coverage plans with little or no cost to you. Don't gamble with your health. Call Healthcare for All at 800-367-0854. 70% of callers qualify for a zero-cost healthcare coverage. If you are uninsured or struggling to afford your current health insurance, help is one phone call away. Call now. There is no obligation. 800-367-0854. This is not Medicaid or Medicare. This is the marketplace with the largest selection of healthcare plans from the Affordable Care Act. To find a plan that's right for you, call Healthcare for All right now for a free quote. Call 800-367-0854. That's 800-367-0854.
All of the West Alabama high school football scores every Friday night all season long on Tide 100.9. High school score updates brought to you by 4th District Congressman Robert Adderholt.
This Alabama football season, join Kerry Clark, Mark McGriff, and Matt Coulter for the most comprehensive postgame coverage of the Crimson Tide. The Tide Postgame Show, live from Walk-On Sports Bistro. Walk-Ons, 675 Skyland Boulevard, Tuscaloosa. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, burgers, bone-in wings, salads, and gumbo. The Tide 100.9 and 95.3 The Bear Tide Postgame Show will be live after every Bama football game. Catch Coach Saban's postgame press conference and the Walk-Ons keys to the game. Plus, we'll take your phone calls live. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win. 675 Skyline Boulevard, Tuscaloosa. And online at walkons.com.
Now's the time to get your place ready for company with up to 40% off select online baths at the Home Depot, because the holidays are coming to town. And so are your friends, your family, and their friends and family. So let the Home Depot help get your bathroom guest ready with the Tabana vanity and the matte black Oswell faucet from Glacier Bay. For more storage and a new modern look, refresh your space with up to 40% off select online baths. Plus, get free delivery on all online vanities and faucets from the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Welcome back to the Martin Houston Show, the sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team, on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Well, we make some mental errors. We don't fan the first sack of the game. We fan it to the left tackle doesn't fan. Guy runs in there unblocked, sacks the quarterback. A couple times a day we got beat physically. I mean, their rusher just beat our guy. But we have to handle pressure better. I mean, we have to be able to handle pressure and stunts better. I mean, this was a big boundary pressure team. It's exactly what they did when 28 sacked the quarterback the first play of the game. Something we practiced a lot, get in the game. And with experience, I think our guys will learn from every one of these things and hopefully be able to get it corrected.
All right. Hey, that's Coach Nick Saban talking about pocket protection, pass protection, etc. Brock, a new commenter on chat saying Miro don't understand his pocket awareness. Jason, he's got to stop taking sacks and throw the ball away. In some ways, I I agree a little bit on that. But I'd ask you this question. Go back and look at his escapability in the pocket at the beginning of the season and his escapability now. I would tell you to go back and look at Jalen Hurts' escapability early in the season against USC and his escapability at the end of the season. It progressively got worse, and it escaped to the right, then threw it out of bounds. This is coaching, guys. Jalen Miro has improved as a reader. He's staying in the pocket more to read his progressions. And as a result, his reading has gotten better. The sacks have gotten worse. Guys, I'm going to tell you, Bryce Young led the SEC. The best quarterback, the Heisman Trophy winner, was, I think, one year he was sacked the most in the SEC with much better line protection than Jalen has. And the next year he was second, I think. Okay? So when you think about that, the Heisman Trophy winner and the number one overall pick in his 2 years was either first or second, if I'm not mistaken, in sacks or in the top 2 or 3. And his offensive line was so much better than this one. This guy is getting sacked most of the time within 3 seconds, under 3 seconds. Under 3 seconds of the 30 sacks he's gotten, I guarantee you 25 of them have been within the first 2 to 3 seconds. So, but I also think that he has escaped and he won't throw it away. The sacks where he's out of the pocket, I don't know why he won't throw it away. I think that is a mental thing that he don't want to turn the ball over because he was taught so much, don't turn the ball over, that he won't throw it. That's just Martin's opinion. Okay. This coaching staff, if I watch one more game, Kennington, the most basic concept of pass protection, if a left tackle struggles, is to chip the outside shoulder of the rusher. Will Anderson could be contained better than Jackson was Saturday. How did they do that? They just chipped his shoulder or made him think you were going to chip him. I don't get it. We're 7 games in and we still refuse to help our left tackle out. I thought Pritchett reverted. I don't know what happened to him Saturday. He was as bad or worse than Proctor Saturday. Maybe that's what they've seen in practice, and he got his big chance and he blew it. Proctor is slow and can't backpedal. Pritchett had his head down in the dirt, looking at the guy's shoes. We made Jackson look like an All-American. Why do we refuse to help that left tackle?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it just kind of goes back to the overarching point of who Alabama has been this season, which is not consistent. And one of the best looks that they've had out of pass protection is when they have Robbie Oots or CJ Dupree over that left tackle and they chip and they go to that max protect look. Like when they have the tight end on the left side, they keep the running back in to pass protect and they have that max protect. That's usually where Jalen Milroe's deep ball passing yards have come from. Clean pocket, he's able to scan the field and find a receiver down the field. And they had that element in there at times, but there just wasn't that consistency. Like you saw them kind of reverting back to putting those guys on islands. And I agree on Pritchett. He did have his big moment. It seems like these first few weeks of him playing, you saw 10 snaps, 12 snaps in that range. And then he played the last series of the first quarter until halftime. And there were some good moments because that's when Milroe exploded in the second half and they were able to get some good plays. But I felt like all three sacks in the second quarter were in some ways attributed to Pritchard. Like you said, head down, hands low. They were able to just kind of slide by him for those three sacks. He was allowing pressure. The one with Justice Hayes, the pressure was coming from both sides. They went back to Proctor in the second half. So I think at this point, you look at left tackle and you can say pretty definitively that that's going to be just a problem area for the team this year. And they're just going to have to find a way to try to support those guys as much as possible. But, to your point, the basic pass blocking concepts, Proctor was still missing them. The fan on the first play, and that happened even, I believe, against Texas A&M. There was a play where a rusher just came off the edge. Proctor stepped inside. He should have stepped outside. He kind of cut Booker off, and that allowed for Milroe to get sacked from the blind side where he fumbled. So there are some issues there, obviously, and it just feels like, Oots or Dupree or somebody should just kind of always be on that side. And if not always, majority of the time, just kind of help that player out.
Hey, Kennington, we got some callers that want to chat with you. Bishop, you're in with Kennington Smith on the Alabama. Kennington Smith, the third on the Alabama One hotline. What's on your mind, sir? Bishop, you still there? All right. Going once, going twice. So sorry about that, Bishop. Josh, you're on the Alabama One hotline with Kennington Smith the third. What's on your mind, sir? All right. Noah, is something going on? I'm not getting the callers. Hello, Noah? All right. Hey, Noah, see if you can figure that out. Not getting the callers' audio. So, Kennington, as we try to get them back in, there's several conversations over here talking about that pass pro and all of that stuff. But this team, we came out in this game, start off a little slow, and then Jalen Milroe once again showed deep ball is his specialty. I have to go back to this OC. I just don't think he doesn't understand what he has, or he just doesn't have the ability to stick with a game plan long enough.
I think
he just can't. He whatever it is, he just can't stick with it long enough.
Yeah, I think it's just a mix of both. It was I go back to that second half where they just ran it so well. And they were just getting those chunk plays. It was like 13, 16, 16, 14, whatever it was. And then they come back, and it just felt like they were getting a little too cute offensively. Yes. The play action, again, the play worked. The play action, Bond was open, Milroe overthrew him. So, I'm not totally absolving Milroe, but why is Alabama even doing that in the first place? The running game is working. The offensive line is gaining confidence. They look cohesive. Why not just keep moving in that direction, continuing to build momentum and gain confidence in the run game. Milroe had a good day offensively throwing the ball up until that point. He had confidence. Why move away from what was working to try to just get Milroe more completions or to re-implement the pass game? Like, the pass game is what got Alabama the lead. You've already established that you could throw. Why not just continue to focus on the running game, which has struggled this year? It's the lowest rushing team that Nick Saban has ever had. It's a problem area. Why not just continue to lean into that and continue to build confidence for the offensive line, especially Proctor, who actually, put together some good blocks to help spring those runs forward. So, just getting a little bit too cute with the game plan. Just run the ball, kill the clock, get out of there with the win. And that's, again, it's just a microcosm of who Alabama has been this year. It's just plays, drive, moments. They look like the elite team, and they give you the hope that they can be that team, and then they just kind of revert back to, the inconsistencies and allowing teams to get back into the game because Alabama's just not putting them away.
Right. All right. Well, hey, we'll get the break here. And as we go to break here, we want you to we have a couple callers. Hopefully we'll be able to work those in, Kennington. We'll have to do kind of a rapid fire. Hopefully those calls will work when we get back from break. You're listening to the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier, powered by MaXSports. We got Kennington Smith III on with us from The Athletic.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active wrecks. Things looking pretty good on the roadways on this Monday morning. Now, if you do see conditions folks need to hear about, just give me a call. 205-886-8886. Here's your chance to save $2,000, $4,000, up to $8,000 instant savings on new in-stock vehicles at Townsend Nissan. I'm Captain Ray.
Here's what's trending on the Tuscaloosa thread.
Good Monday morning. Joran Vandersloot is expected to appear in federal court in Birmingham for a plea and sentencing hearing on extortion charges Wednesday. Vandersloot is the leading suspect in the disappearance of Mountain Brook teenager Natalie Holloway in Aruba in 2005. But the charges he faces are for allegedly taking money from Holloway's mother in exchange for information about the teenager's disappearance, information he never provided. Click TuscaloosaThread.com for more local news. Don Hartley, Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa.
Go inside the Alabama Crimson Tide with the Gary Harris Show.
Hey, everybody, it's Gary Harris. Coming up Monday on the Gary Harris Show on Tide 100.9 FM and 1230 AM WTBC, we'll recap the college football weekend. Rodney Orr from TideInsider.com will join me to break down the Crimson Tide and the Arkansas Razorbacks, and also Casey Smith on golf. All that coming up Monday on the Gary Harris Show.
Catch the Gary Harris Show Monday through Friday, 9 to 11 a.m. on Tide 100.9 and Tide100.9.com.
I was diagnosed with breast cancer last year and had chemo and radiation at DCH's Lewis and Faye Madison Cancer Center. I'm thankful for the support of my nurse, Kate, my breast navigator, Katrina, my doctors, and the whole staff. I have felt confident like I was the most important person there, before, during, and after. Tuscaloosa is blessed to have such an excellent team at the Madison Cancer Center.
DCH, champions for your health.
Hey, if you're thinking about getting the latest iPhone, check this out. With Boost Infinite, you get the latest iPhone every year and unlimited wireless for just $60 a month. Yeah, you get the new iPhone 15 Pro with titanium. Then again, next year, you get the latest iPhone. Every year. Boost Infinite. Infinitely better. To learn more, pick up your phone, dial pound 250 and say Boost Infinite. That's pound 250 and say Boost Infinite.
Terms apply. After 30 gigabytes, service may be slowed. Receive a comparable iPhone model each year with an acceptable trade-in every year. Requires credit qualification and 36-month phone financing agreement. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dial text message from this station's network.
Now's the time to get your place ready for company with up to 40% off select online baths at the Home Depot, because the holidays are coming to town. And so are your friends, your family, and their friends and family. So let the Home Depot help get your bathroom guest ready with the Tabana vanity and the matte black Oswell faucet from Glacier Bay. For more storage and a new modern look, refresh your space with up to 40% off select online baths. Plus, get free delivery on all online vanities and faucets from the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Tuscaloosa Locksmith does general locksmith work, laser engraving, and makes keys. They sell safes, key remotes, remote fobs, and smart keys. Tuscaloosa Locksmith, just off 15th Street behind the fire station.
It's time for the Martin Houston Show with the same hard-hitting, no-nonsense approach in which he played the game, Martin will take you inside the locker room, down on the field, and across the goal line with his in-depth analysis.
To the Martin Houston Show, powered by MaXSports. We got Kennington Smith III on The Athletic. Kennington, tell them where they can find you, sir.
Yeah, on Twitter or X at Skinny Kenny, SKINNYKENNY _ theathletic.com, or if you have, mobile apps, The Athletic mobile app, Kennington Smith III.
All right. We got 3 callers in. We're going to have to do a little rapid fire with you, Kenny. First of all, we got Josh. Josh, thanks for your patience. Sorry about that getting dropped, but you're in with Skinny Kenny of The Athletic. What's on your mind?
I got a couple observations from the game, and I just wanted to see if y'all agree.
Go ahead.
I felt like our energy wasn't what it needed to be, number one. And number two, especially in the first half, I don't think we really sustained a lot of drives. I think we hit a lot of big plays, but we didn't, you know what I mean, sustain a lot of drives.
Well, I'll respond really quickly. Energy at 11 o'clock is hard to get up. Number one, we started off the game slow. Then you don't get to sustain drives when you hit big plays. Number two, so that's a part of the reason you don't have big drives. But we were up 24-6. So regardless of whether you had long drives or sustained drives or energy, you were kicking this team's butt 24-6 en route to beating them somewhere in the 40-13 range. This team just don't know how to finish. Kennington, your thought?
Yeah, I think that's just kind of what Alabama's offense is. And we're talking about, what is the team's identity? What's the offense's identity? The offense's identity, for better or worse, is big plays. Before Arkansas's game, 76% of Alabama's total offensive yards this season have come from explosive plays. So that's just kind of what Alabama is. And I think that you kind of wonder or worry, is that going to be sustainable as the season carries on?
All right.
Yeah, that's kind of what I worry about. In a game where we can't hit the big plays, are we going to be able to sustain drives?
I think this offense has the ability to do that. I don't think our OC has the ability to do it. Thanks, Josh. Unfortunately, I don't think he has the ability or patience to. I think he thinks he's still at Notre Dame, and he thinks he has to beat teams with big plays. That's just my thought. Thank you, sir. Call back anytime. Glad to have you part of the program. All right, next up we got Joey. Joey, you're in with Kennington Smith III of The Athletic. What's on your mind, sir?
Yeah, Martin, I think you actually just addressed what I was saying. I don't think our OC can follow a game plan. And I'll give you a perfect example first. Opening the second half, we ran the ball, 90% of the time on that first drive, if not every play. And we drove from inside the 20 all the way down in the red zone. And then we drove, 2 running plays, but we went from like the 10-yard line down to the 8.
Mm-hmm.
And on 3rd and 2, after driving and running like we were, he throws a pass. Why? We went the entire drive running the ball, and then he gets down with 3rd and 2, and at worst, maybe we gain 2 yards and we're an inch out, and Saban says, "Put it in."
Hey, let me tell you, if I ran the ball the way I ran the ball on that drive, 3rd and 2 is 4 down territory inside the 10.
That's what I'm saying. Instead, we throw a pass, and you've said 24-6. It should have been 28-6, and Arkansas is back on their heels still.
Yeah.
They were proud to have stopped us.
Yeah. Hey, Kennington, your thoughts?
And after that, it was pass the rest of the game.
Yes, it was. Thanks, Joey. That is so right on 100%. I hadn't even thought about the 3rd and 2. Kennington, your thoughts, and then we'll get one more caller in with you.
Yeah, definitely. Again, just getting too cute with the offense. Just run the ball, bleed the clock, finish that drive out with the touchdown. And the red zone has been an area where Alabama has struggled this year. It kind of goes back to the point of the big play offense. They're really good at those field flipping big touchdown plays, but in those tighter windows, offense has a problem, finishing out drives and executing. And that was just a microcosm of that. Not all on the players because Reese did call a pass play, but just kind of speaking to how Alabama's ability to hit big plays but not have the consistency in the short to intermediate range is hurting the team.
All right, Bill, you're our last caller for the day. You're in with Kennington Smith, the third of the Athletic. What's on your mind, sir?
Roll Tide from Texas.
Roll Tide.
Just real quick, I got a little different mindset. I'm trying to keep a glass half full scenario on the whole season. I'm taking all these deficiencies that we have, and let's just say that that's just making us more of an experienced team. And at the end of the year, I know we're still trying to drop in the top 10, but it will happen. Pac-12 is going to start cannibalizing themselves. Hopefully we can take care of business against Tennessee. The only two things I think that we are not learning and then not getting any better on is pass protection, of course. And we ain't going to talk about play calling like our previous caller said, but penalties are getting better though. I think all these scenarios, again, like just bottom dropping out in the second half, everything's kind of new, but kind of the same, but a different version of it, kind of like an RPO.
Right, Bill,
stick with this.
I'll say this, Bill. We are everything we're saying is third world problems. We only lost to Texas after a really bad fourth quarter with multiple turnovers. So I understand our complaint is third world issues. So thanks, Bill. We'll have to comment on your thoughts even more as this week goes. But great insight, great perspective. Thank you, sir. Thanks for calling in from Texas. Roll Tide. Hey, Kennington, real quick, I only got about 60 seconds. Tell me your thoughts on Tennessee, man.
Yeah, gonna be a challenging game. Tennessee, one of the best pass rushers in the SEC, so just kind of speaks to one of the biggest problem areas on Bama's team. I think Alabama's defense, the onus is going to be on them to stop the run. But being able to keep Tennessee's pass rushers off of Jalen Milroe is going to be the number one key to extending this win streak.
Yes, it will be. And will our OC help out that offensive line, Kennington? That'll be the question. Will he help out with the play calling? Tell our listeners what you got coming up for the rest of the week.
Yeah, doing a detailed look at last week's game that'll be released today. We're going to do some more analysis, 4 keys and a prediction, some player features and more. So just stay locked in at the Athletic.
All right. And also follow at Skinny Kenny _ on the X or on Twitter. That's Skinny Kenny. That's Kennington Smith, the third of the Athletic. I'm Martin Houston. We'll have DC Capstone Report joining us on tomorrow. Thanks to all the callers, listeners, viewers, and chatters for being a part of the program. We'll have more Nick Saban audio on tomorrow. We'll have more of your thoughts, comments, and questions. Hey, remember this, trust in the Lord always. Lean not your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. Roll Tide out there, everybody.